Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. I am trying to get the player names into the correct colors. I saw a lot of feedback on that. I appreciate the people in the comments that were trying to remind people that I record these oftentimes in batches. Occasionally I'll do them just like right before, but yeah, generally I try to do a few at a time. So there's a little bit of lag time in trying to improve things, but there you go. I figured out how to get the color on those IDs. Anyways, hope that helps. Do give me some feedback on that as well. I want to continue to improve ArtosisCasts and just make this the best possible experience for everybody. So, we are looking today at a player that has made it into ASL, and everyone is, in my opinion, underrating a little bit, and that's Skey. We have Skey down here in the bottom right, and he is just a very strong Terran player. He's in his first season, but I've seen people basically being like, okay, he's got no chance. And yeah, he has. I would tend to agree with that, but like, he's also very, very good. And obviously you have to be very, very good to get in, but I think you'll be impressed because I've only casted like a little bit of Skey on this channel, but he is legitimately a really, really strong player. I don't put him quite as strong as someone like Scan, but I think that he has potential to even take a map, maybe get third place in his group. I'd be really surprised if he made it through. You know, normally your first time in ASL, you're always basically dead, but Skey is quite good. So I wanted to show some of his games. Here he is going up against Soma, who, like, obviously could not play in ASL this time. He's still in military duty, but he's in really, really, really good shape. And, you know, that's exciting. Our Zerg lineup right now is so crazy strong in the StarCraft 1 Pro scene. And when Soma comes back to, like, full-time play, it's going to get even stronger. You know, right now, obviously, Sulky's the best. Hero's unbelievable. Queen is unbelievable. You know, Jaedong definitely has been doing well since last season, continues to do well. Action seems to be back in good form, in my opinion. You know, there's so many really good Zerg players right now. So, anyways, Soma does go for a little bit of a pool first here, but it's a wall from Skey. He's getting ready to expand, but has to bring some SCVs down just to make sure he's going to be safe here against this, I believe it was an overpool. And yeah, with 2 SCVs blocking, 2 Marines on hold position, and the Lings kind of coming in single file, they're not going to be able to get anything done. Looks like Soma was just playing a very careful build in case there was something like a center barracks here. So here on Radeon with the command center going up, everything pretty normal. Nothing too strange going on at the moment. You know, obviously from Soma's side, it's like a little bit of a more aggressive build. Just the fact that he's got the pool first, like, the thing is, you can speed up your layer in that situation, try to gain some value back if nothing else worked. But from Skey's point of view, he should just go Academy here. I'd be pretty shocked if he does anything else, but we'll see that in a moment. So basically, like, and this move out, by the way, is just to make sure that Lings are being made, because he knows that the Overlord is here watching him. So, like, as soon as you move out, you can see someone didn't make a lot more Lings, but he did make some, because if your opponent actually pulls the trigger and goes across the map with 5 Marines and you only have 4 Lings, you're going to take a ton of damage. So, yeah, Soma goes up to about 8 Lings here. So, you know, that's a nice way to just force him to have 2 less drones. So, anyways, let's take a look. Yep, there's the Academy. And that's, like, just kind of standard against pool first openers. You know, when you go pool first, you speed up that layer. There's no real time to do things like start +1. There's no real time to do something like get a second barracks up and then go into Academy. Basically, you want to make sure that you can get a ComSat scanner in case you need it. If you didn't get, like, accurate scouting intel and you're a little bit nervous, maybe it could be something that's not mutas. But also to get stim and range as quickly as possible to make sure that you're able to produce nonstop off the barracks to just have enough units. And it just kind of lets you stabilize the game. So a very good follow-up here from Skey. Soma throwing down the 3rd hatch in his main base. So he's definitely going to focus pretty heavily on his Mutalisk harassment for a bit. And he's going to have to slip in some more drones as well. As you see, his drone count not super, super strong at the moment. Now, one thing to mention is if you look at these positions, well, it's a little bit hard to show exactly because we're at the bottom of the screen, but Soma can just rally his mutas over to here and really heavily harass the natural. So in this type of situation, in this a game that looks like this, you're going to have to build a lot more turrets than normal in your natural expansion. Like, you can start with the 2 to 3, that's normal. But as you figure out what they're doing, and like, especially if you realize that they have their 3rd hatch in their main base, that just kind of like points towards more unit production and droning up and stuff. So like, you're going to have to take it really, really, really seriously. So Skey throwing up a turret in the main and at the barracks. He's already got the 2 turrets at the natural. He's going to get a bunker here to kind of protect this depot and like hedge against Zerglings running in. This is not the most stable area. I wouldn't be surprised if Soma eventually takes this down if he stays a little bit aggressive. But yeah, right now it's up to Skey to just make sure he gets enough turrets. And this is an excellent 3rd turret. And realistically, he's going to need like a turret here, turret here. Like, he's going to have to really go heavy on that. More mutas being made by Soma. You can see he's getting that +1 attack upgrade as well. So he's really focusing on those mutas. And this is how he's looking to kind of regain his value, as I mentioned before. You know, he went for that pool first to be safe. Didn't really work out. Didn't get anything done with it. But, you know, he's got that quick layer to try to, you know, bring some damage home. Okay, so Muta's flying in, and they're just looking for any weak points. He's got enough that he can really fight. And see, like I said, this is just kind of like an easy pick-off. He loses basically nothing there. A little bit of health, and that's about it. And he's going to get the depot as well. I don't know why Skey's trying to make a turret there. In this type of situation, I feel like you just give up the depot. And in fact, I would make it a bunker back here, to be honest, because this just looks like a very aggressive game from Soma. But we can see Soma is droning up at home. Of course, Skey doesn't know that yet, but here Soma comes once again. And actually, that Skey held that much better than I thought he would. He loses the depot, but he killed all the lings really, really quickly there. And the turret finished, which kind of helped a little bit against those Mutalisks. So that was actually really well done. You can see it's a later factory than we normally see. So Skey has made some very good adjustments here because it's aggressive play. You don't necessarily want to go for the factory too quickly. You have to make sure that you've got your static D up. There is that bunker. That's very, very smart. And yeah, you can see the turret placement really good. They're very, very tight missile turrets at the moment. So Soma right now, he did send a drone towards top left. There's an SCV waiting there. He has to send a Muta to clear it. That's so annoying. But now Skey at least knows where Soma is attempting to expand. Now, we've heard a few scans, and obviously he's made about 6 drones there at the natural and even more coming out now. So it looks like Skey wants to push out. I think he's recognized what's gone on here and the fact that Soma's trying to drone. And this is kind of like... You know, I was coaching a good friend of mine up a tree the other day, and what I tried to explain to him was that, like, you got to kind of watch when they're droning. If they're making drones, they aren't making units, so you got to move out a little bit and kind of pressure them back into making those units, and if they don't, then you might have a window of opportunity to attack. So that's kind of what Skey's looking for, but Soma's got a very healthy amount of mutas. He's doing a good job reducing this, and look at this. He brings the lings in as well. Really excellent play here from Soma. The thing is, Skey's playing really well. He did not go too far up. This is like, Soma's doing such a good job at reducing the Marine medic count and kind of like slipping in the drones, but keeping the bio back. It's very, very impressive indeed. Now we have a starport and we have a factory. Now, I actually quite like this line of play from Skey. I think that this is actually a really, really good call. The mutas have been so aggressive. And you might look at that and say, well, why not go to starport then so that you can really counter those Mutalisks? Well, the factory can do a couple things. First off, if your opponent like stays like really heavy in the mutas for a long time, if you just scale correctly, you actually can end up defeating them with 1 to 2 irradiates. But also when they're staying aggressive like this, don't forget that Soma might just pull a bunch of lurkers over here and just like try to contain. So by making the siege tanks, you're just completely nullifying that very quick lurker containment strategy. You will be able to apply a little bit of pressure, This is one of those games where I would suggest only 2 siege tanks. Oh, he starts a third one. But just looking at the speed of the hive, like the 3rd siege tank is not likely to get you any value. The 2 siege tanks, though, a lot of times you can move out with those and, you know, at least put a little bit of pressure on your opponent. Okay, so he's got his 6 racks producing really well. He's got his +1 attack. He's got the double eBay going. Vessels on the way, Radiate on the way. He's got 2 siege tanks out. I don't think he has siege. And it looks like he is yeah, he just started siege and he's waiting for the 3rd tank. So 3 tanks, the thing about 3 tanks is 3 tanks in siege mode, 1 shot's a lurker. So it's very, very efficient in that way, but just generally speaking, it's really hard to get 3 tanks to do anything because it gives them, you know, an extra 32 seconds before your move out timing, which is an eternity in StarCraft. Okay, so a great scan there from Skey. He sees where those lurkers are at. The vessel is out as well. So Soma may try to pick the vessel. You got to be really careful with your micro here. See? Ooh, this is really good from Skey. He actually gets several Mutalisks, keeps his siege tanks alive, and you can see diving in, trying to kill some of these tanks. Oh god, he actually gets some pretty good volleys there as far as the spines go and kills a lot of the Marines. But Skey is pushing hard at the moment. He's killed a lot so far. Now, the thing is, he's not going to be able to break him. Even one lurker, or even just like a group of lings when there's no Firebats out, will be able to hold this position as soon as Consume finishes. Ooh, he gets to Radiate. Consume is almost done. Oh, he... and he gets it. He gets it. Okay, so that will stop the push. So, like, the push can't go up until that's cleared. Another Defiler is going to come out, and he just doesn't have a lot of Irradiates right now. Oh, no. Big mistake there from Skey, just rallying that up. Sends his vessel across. He probably put it into his hotkey and just attack moved it. And because of the spawning positions, it just flew in this terrible, terrible direction. You have to be really careful about that. Anyways, Skey walks back, and look at this. The Firebat meta. This is seriously coming up more and more. I still remember the first time we saw a pro really try to go mass Firebat to break some of these lurker positions, and it was Bishop, of course. But yeah, we've seen this more and more popping up. I love the fact he made an entire round. Like, he made 6 Firebats at once. He does have his 2nd starport up at home, continuing those upgrades. But yeah, that extra amount of Firebats, like, you know, what that does is if you have just one lurker, he'll break it. Easy. In fact, 6 Firebats, if there's not like anything else there really helping, will break 2 lurkers. And obviously, if you start mixing in things like a defense matrix, or maybe you throw in a radiate down, that type of thing, it might make it break even more. It really just kind of depends on the situation. But having those Firebats gives you more kill potential than not. Of course, don't forget they do cost gas, and it's not inconsequential. 4 Firebats is 100 gas. So it's like 150 gas of Firebats here. That's not quite a vessel's amount of Firebats, but it's just something to keep in mind. It can interrupt some of your other production. Oh my god, and Skey getting vessel energy really, really quickly. I think that this is the most underrated upgrade probably in the entire game. Terrans have started to get this for a while. It's, you know, right around the same time I started thinking that I should get that, Scan actually told me as well that he was really liking it. So I think all the Terrans are kind of figuring this out over the last few years here, that it's like, okay, the vessel energy upgrade is actually fantastic. So he is getting that really, really quickly. He's keeping his upgrades going. He has a couple dropships on the way. This is very good play from Skey. Now, looking at Soma, you can see this doesn't look droppable at all. He's got Scourge. He's got Lings spread around as well. Really nice. He's just kind of rallying down as he needs. He has his Nidus here to go up and defend here. Looking in here into this space, it's a little bit more droppable, but he does have 4 Scourge up there. He does have Mutalisk up there. Oh, just catching him losing 2 vessels. That's brutal, especially considering this was a 1-star port opener. He just doesn't have a ton of vessels sitting around. Now, 3 dropships are coming out. I don't think this Overlord saw them, but just something to like keep in mind. And I'll tell you guys a little thing that I've been thinking about, and I've tried a few times over the years, and I'm kind of mixing in a little bit more now. I like optical flare to stop Overlords from this, seeing your dropships move around. Because there's like all sorts of places on these maps. Anyways, enough of my bad theory crafting. I actually think it's legitimate. Now, he does a nice moving drop there, and actually Soma misses it. So he doesn't pop any of these drop ships. And now with the Firebats out, he has so much potential here for damage. Oh, and he gets one of those lurkers. If he actually spreads his Firebats and gets up here, he will kill it. Ah! It's so close, but the Lings pop out and aggro the Firebats. So this one very hurt lurker looks like it won't be killed off, but you know what? He is going to be able to kill the hatchery. That's huge. He has a little group here at the front. Yeah, a few Marines over there on the side. Oh my God, I actually did not even notice that he had expanded up to here. So very well done. I love that he has these little groups of units around the map. Ooh, nice Dark Storm there, but he did lose the hatchery. You know, I think that this is one of the most important things in Terran vs. Zerg is keeping these groups of Marines and medics all over the place to kind of like slow down the movement of Zerg. Now, Ultras are out, but his economy doesn't really support Ultra Defiler. I really like Skey's position right now. Having killed this base is gigantic. But you know what? Soma still has a lot going on. He's got good upgrades overall. He's got obviously awesome tech. He's got enough drones. He's got enough supply. Like he's not particularly close to losing this game. Well, he's getting a little bit closer as another drop goes off of these awesome 2-2 Marines. 3 Battlecruisers on the way. Dude, Skey is really strong. He's going to pop this Ultra. He's just kind of standing behind the mineral patches, picking off more drones here as well. It will get cleaned up, of course. Yeah, throws down a Dark Storm there. This is just Skey being as annoying as possible, getting any damage he might be able to get. He's got his 3-3 upgrades on the way. Soma looks like he might be expanding towards his own third base, which is kind of an interesting location. I guess this is actually the next most defendable base on the map, other than like sneaking something somewhere and getting an Itis up. But this is like, yeah, that's pretty hard to attack. So that's reasonable to take as a base right now. Okay, so 167 against 117 supply. Skey is playing like a beautiful game. The fact that he's already got 3 Battlecruisers about to pop is huge. Just getting that third science facility. And the difference, it's like 1 Battlecruiser is actually really bad. 2 is really good. 3 gets very scary. It's really hard to kill them with Scourge. And of course, there's no plus armor upgrade for the Scourge. You got the +1 air attack earlier with those Mutalisks. Okay, now this base is gone. Well, at least it has to be lifted. As soon as a Defiler shows up at a Terran base, like, it's done for a while. So this is a big issue. He hasn't kept enough map control to stop this from occurring. So Soma shuts down a base. Very nice. He has Dark Swarm over here for his new 5th base location. Skey can't get in. Don't forget, the one big problem with Skey's play this game is his lack of vessel production. Now, he is getting +1 air attack, which is very good because you don't want that flyer carapace to screw up one-shotting Scourge. As soon as a BC has +1 air attack, it one-shots Scourge no matter how much armor they have. But if Scourge has 0 armor, it one-shots Scourge already. So, and like BCs aren't super popular in the meta right now, but when they are, Zerg players actually do get that +1 carapace later on. So it's not bad to just get the +1 attack. Anyways, the dropship's flying out, trying to get some more damage. It's good unit rotation right now from Skey. He's moving all around the map. But Soma's defense is pretty darn solid. He's got a Spore here. He's got, you know, just some random Defilers sitting around all over the place. Look at that. Throws down immediately. Oh, God. He actually, yeah, I was going to say he needs to plague that. Very good plague. The Marines go under the Dark Swarm and kill off the Nidus. So Skey is actually dealing a ton of damage here. He is doing such a good job staying very aggressive, going after the Ultralisk Cavern, deciding that might be a big issue in this game. Soma coming back with Ultraling Defiler, but more units just coming in from Skey right now. Now, don't forget, Skey doesn't have a huge economy behind this. So, and Soma actually still has a very solid economy right now. So Soma still has shots in this game. He still has potential to win this. But it's getting lower and lower. Skey really has kept so much pressure on here. The 3 dropships coming up is big. You can see he's making a ridiculous amount of Scourge right now. I don't know that the Scourge will get as much done as he's hoping, just because there's so many Battlecruisers coming, 3 more BCs coming. As you can see, he's just one-shotting. Really hard to kill them all off. Still a BC left over. And he has, and look at that, Yamato even. Some players skip Yamato. I love to see it, though. Another little Marine drop over here, going to randomly catch a bunch of Overlords, so that's kind of nice as well. Man, I tell you, I love the way that Skey is trying to play this. Battlecruisers everywhere, drops everywhere. He's keeping pressure on. It's a beautiful, beautiful looking game from him. Now, Skey still hasn't gotten this base back up. Let's do a mineral check. Nothing. Very low, but he's brought the saturation way down, so that'll stay for a while. Very good. He really does need this base up. His production is not fantastic. And look, 154, 106. Don't forget, when you're playing a Defiler-based game, you need to get Zerg down to 70, well, sub-70 supply. They stay in the game at 70. At 69 supply, they leave. That is generally how it goes. And I'm not kidding. Like, I've been saying that for years, and you can go through Defiler-based games against Terran that's generally sub-70. They just can't hold anything anymore. But at 70, they're still like, yeah, no problem. Now, that was actually really nice lurker positioning. And look at that. Soma's so quick on the defense here. Skey unable to get very much done right there, but he does stim up to kill more drones. Now, Skey's position is way further back. This was the last offensive thing he had going on in the map at this moment. A Battlecruiser is making its way. I love the eBay just kind of watching for unit rotation. Another Battlecruiser sent in an almost random direction. Bio as well as vessels coming out. The Ultras Cavern's back, and a lot of Ultras are on the way. So this is a little bit of an issue because Skey's economy is not that big. You really need a critical mass to deal with Ultralisks. And while his upgrades are fantastic, and that will allow him to a certain degree to deal with the Ultras, his general size, like if you look at the amount of Ultras and Lings about to hatch, that kills this. That kills this. Like, you need a lot of bios sitting together to be able to really deal with that. So I am a little bit nervous for Skey right now. He has more Battlecruisers coming up, though. He's making 3 at a time. It looks like he's really just kind of leaning into Battlecruisers. And that is something that you can do. Like, oh, and look, a Defiler shows up at this base, so he just has to run. There's just no point in staying. So that is a bit of an issue, rotating his army back around to deal with this. Looks like the medics have a mind of their own, going very far away. Not sure where they were going, but... yeah, some mutas actually coming out as well. This is actually a good trick to try to hit BCs, is if you bring mutas, they have higher attack priority than Scourge. So they won't one-shot the Scourge, they'll attack the muta, which takes several hits to kill. So it's really good to mix in some mutas if you have them still, to try to kill off BCs with Scourge. Very, very good move. But yeah, the BC flies in here, and it's just kind of like... that was a little bit of a misclick. He like did an unload, shift click away, and this tried to unload there where it couldn't. Anyways, Skey coming up with another big Bioforce. Looks like he wanted to get rid of... Oh, it's too bad he didn't bring all this. He wants... Well, I guess he's going to get rid of it, but he wants to get rid of the ultralisk Cavern here once again, and he will be able to do that. Crazy game that we have going on. The amount of Battlecruisers is absurd. And well, okay, he does have some vessels being made now. Looks like this will all get cleared up. It's kind of the funny thing, like, drops. Obviously, drops are a very important part of Terran vs. Zerg. But when Ultras are out, it's really, really hard to get drops to work because Ultras just attack move to clear them. Drops kind of rely on the fact that Lings are weaker than, like, Firebat Marine Medic. And, you know, lurkers have to unburrow, move forward, and reburrow. Whereas ultras just get attacked, moved, and cleaned up small amounts of units. It's all about critical mass to kill ultras, and dropships just never have that. So, very good way to clean it. And you can see Soma swarming. He gets rid of this base. He's got this base still mining. Look at this. The supplies are still really similar to where they were. We're very close to Soma actually winning this game now. You know, Skey was ahead for a really long time, but he hasn't gotten the critical damage he needs. He does have the Battlecruisers still out here. So, like, let's say these Battlecruisers just can't get dealt with. Okay, well, maybe he can still win. But losing this base, can't do it. And, in fact, even losing this base, can't do it. He just isn't able to get, like, the supply he needs. And Soma with this fresh base and this fresh base, it's just really hard to stop this at all. This has actually been an excellent game, but yeah, like when it starts looking like this and Zerg is just sending stuff at you, yeah, see, GG. Well, I tell you what, though, that was a great game. If that doesn't make you a little bit of a Skey fan and a little excited for his debut in ASL, I don't know what will. That was an awesome game. Soma obviously playing out of his mind. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.